What could every JRPG use more of? No stranger to the Tales of series, I came into this game with certain expectations. The over-the-top intro sequence, lush animated scenery and character models, deep, fast-paced combat, an obsessive focus with food, the use of skits to provide character development, and fully animated cutscenes that make you believe you're watching a full-fledged anime. This is the world of Tales. Tales of Xillia 2 is a direct sequel to the awesome original Xillia that came out in 2013. I was one of the players that loved that game and went out of their way to acquire the Platinum Trophy. Needless to say, I've spent a fair amount of time with the predecessor. Having played the sequel, I can safely say that they have done everything bigger and better. You are allowed to re-explore the luscious land of Reese and Maxia and Olympias with very little limitations, and you are encouraged to explore. This sequel is comparable to what Final Fantasy X-2 did for 10, not because of the Charlie's Angel overhaul, but because they allow you to revisit a lot of the same locales with the freedom to do it at your leisure, as opposed to linearly. As a brief disclaimer, I will say that you will need to play the previous game in order to appreciate everything this game has going story-wise. The story picks up exactly 1 year after the events that occurred in the first Xillia. This time around, you play the game through the eyes of an Olympian named Luger Kresnik and attempt to deal with the political turmoil that comes with mixing two cultures. The plot is deep, interesting, and easy to follow. Even when Luger's job requires him to track his big brother down in different time dimensions, I never felt like I was at a loss. On that note, I will go out of my way to say that this game will toy with your emotions. There will be quite a few times where you will be fighting back tears when you find the turmoil these characters must endure. Or you'll be finding yourself laughing your ass off with the witty banter.
Shut up, Alvin! You don't need to join in!
Go easy on him. Alvin has reached an age where he's suddenly desperate to fit in with us younger types.
It's only natural when you get older.
Ah, Rolo. Only you and I understand the pain of male adulthood.
Every single character from the first game is back. You even join forces with some old enemies from the previous game. One of the biggest highlights for me is that they made every single character useful this time around. On the original Xillia, there were certain characters I gravitated towards and certain ones I tried to stay away from. I'm looking at you, Rowan. But this time around, I felt like I wanted to use every single one of them. The addition of character-specific side quests is a stroke of genius and allowed me to appreciate every character a little further. Gameplay-wise, I love the fact that the developers pretty much throw you in the game world, shrug their shoulders, and say, go do stuff. Certain events take place early in the story that leave Luger with a huge debt. This is used in order to keep gamers from just plowing through the story without trying anything else. The job board system is used in order to partake in side quests that will be your main source of income. You will need to pay a lot of money in order to open new story missions. This is one of the biggest complaints I've heard about this game. The limitations that are imposed on you early on because of the immense debt you acquire. I personally never considered this a problem. Reason being is that if you pay attention to the location of the side quest, you realize that you have to head in that direction through normal progression. If you take on several jobs that are in the same location, you can easily knock out anywhere from 3 to 5 job listings at the same time without going out of your way. In my opinion, the debt and job postings was a great addition that did not hinder the way I felt about progression. If I ever did feel like moving with the main story and not worry about making money, all I had to do is defeat one elite monster and I would be rolling with enough dough to make a payment with some to spare for some brand new equipment. Developers did a great job making me feel like I was free to explore every locale on my own terms at my own time. There were plenty of game sessions where I could only play about 4 hours and I ended up losing myself to the immense world by doing character quests, completing job postings, and hunting elite monsters without even touching the main story arc. Hell, sometimes I just lost track of time playing with my cats and craving some... One of the biggest things that shine in Tales of games has always been the refined combat system. Xillia 2 was able to locate the holy grail of action RPG combat and was able to provide us with the best combat system in the series thus far. The link system from the original game that allows you to use supporting characters for special skills and moves is back, but developers added small tweaks that make it feel fresh. The main character, Luger, is able to wield 3 weapons, and switching them mid-battle is easily done. If you want to succeed at this game, especially on the harder difficulties, you will need to use all 3 weapons for different enemies. Different weapons allow you for different link variations depending on the character you link with and the weapon you are wielding. Since you will be spending the majority of the time playing as Luger, you will be doing a lot of experimentation. It is immensely gratifying to find a new link art with certain characters even late into the game. Once you get a deep understanding of the link system, there is nothing more exhilarating than performing a ridiculously long link chain where you change characters and weapons on the fly, then ending with a super move.
Here comes my ass spin like a tornado. And jump! Like a shooting star. Soul step, celebration! That's my style.
All while extending your overdrive because of set changes. A new addition unique to this game is the use of a power transformation. Luger is able to transform once his chromatus meter is full and perform ridiculously powerful moves by himself along with his own mystic card, which is completely unrelated to the overdrive system. I thought it would be an overpowered feature at first, but it ended up being a reliable strategy that could easily be taken away if you are careless. Everything about this game meshes well together, from the characters, the story, the combat, to the simple yet addictive character progression system. I even enjoy Kitty Dispatch, which require you to collect cats in order to get hard to come by items. With so many awesome things happening in this game, one could consider it a masterpiece. I do, however, have a few minor gripes. One of the biggest issues I have with Western RPGs is the lack of characterization and development they have with their characters. This has never been an issue with JRPGs, but it was actually an issue for me with this game. That is because the silent protagonist bit doesn't really suit the tone of the game. Luger provides little to no insight to the events happening, and it feels like we could have had a more passionate lead. All you will ever get out of him is... The reason behind this idea is they want you to answer questions for Luger and feel for him as if you were him yourself, but it just feels a little lacking. I have also had an issue with the cooking system in this game since the first Xillia. I was spoiled with the more intuitive cooking that was implemented in the Tales of Vesperia and Tales of Graces F. Having to buy and use a menu every time you want to eat something is not cooking, it's just buying and eating food. The last thing is that I would have liked to see the return of character stories to choose at the beginning of the game like in the first Xillia. Those are all incredibly minor complaints, and you could just say I'm being nitpicky when taking into account the amazing overall experience this game provided. I know a game is astonishing when I immediately begin another playthrough as soon as I finished it for the first time, and this is one of them. With 60 hours logged into my first playthrough, I am ready for more, and I am ready to go for the platinum. JRPG fans, rejoice! This is the best Tales of game in the series. Seriously, drop everything you're doing and go buy it. It is that damn good.